So I would like to introduce you to alupinyas4, or however you pronounce that. I'm going to pause here in a sec just so you can get see an idea of this player. It's a 2000 battle account. He's still in game as of today. I know the ban wave just happened a couple days ago, and I know people mentioned it in my chat, and obviously I record in batches, so I don't always immediately respond to it in my comment section or whatever, so this is the player in question. This is a really terrible cheater, or he just started cheating, or his software is just absolutely atrocious. But you'll see within the first, like, you know, notch right here of a player he shoots at, and just the way he plays in general. You're snapping into players, you're looking at players through objects, you're looking at a person from 1.4 kilometers that is scouted, by the way, but you cannot see him at all. You can see him on the map, but, you know, shoots at 1.4 kilometers and doesn't hit him. Granted, that guy was behind a hill there, so he wasn't going to hit him anyway. But you can see him just staring at our friendo back here. Can't see him at all, but he just knows he's there. And his record is horrible. Also, bringing up the ban wave in question, I am glad they banned it 8.5 thousand players. That's a lot of people. However, I am still extremely annoyed about the amount of 10,000 bus I have currently about 30 accounts on record that are, let's see, they are 3,000 to about 10,000 battle accounts that are blatantly cheating. Like this, the one I keep getting in my comment section is a Chinese name with like AMD in the middle of it. He's still not gone. He's been, I reported on him in June. He has survived 2 ban waves, major ban waves, and he's still not gone. So I had to send his name to someone I know, at least a staff member at Gaijin, to try to get him banned, because who knows. But the problem I have with that is that there's, like, I've done that with Sunny, and we've tried to do that on certain people in game, and sometimes you just get Gaijin staff that just pay no attention and just ignore blatant issues with the game constantly. And as always, we're always dealing with players like this who are shooting through all levels of everything and are still not gone, no matter how they look through terrain like this, because once again, stuff is not set up correctly. And I am, yes, glad that there's 8,500 people banned. But when I started going through my list of changing all my titles to banned, I was realizing how many gaps there were. So I looked through a lot of them, and I granted I haven't gone through all of them yet because I've been extremely busy this past week and will be for the next 2 weeks, like I stated in my videos. It's just like there's these giant holes in players that are profusely cheating on accounts anywhere from 400 battles to like 10,000 battles, and they're just not gone. And the gap in between reporting and a player getting banned is just too great for a lot of these players, and I don't really get how you can get. Granted, I'm not really. The reason why I only report on full cheaters is because the fact that if you have enough reports on a player in question, well, that should trigger Gaijin to say, hey, we should look at this player, and he might need to be banned. And yet, I have plenty of obvious cheaters on my channel, and a ton of them aren't banned. And this is the frustrating thing about it, because Gaijin has all these people who are watching and or checking these videos, and not my videos, but like replays for reports, and they just ignore a lot of it sometimes. And I don't understand the logic of that, because we have people that are reporting the cheaters in question. We know what's going on. There's a community of people that are looking at this. There's people streaming on TikTok now for, you know, advertising their cheats. And I know game companies that will literally, and he's already dead, so he left the game. But there's game companies who will literally, you know, like, hey, we see someone cheating on stream, we're going to go ban that player immediately. And yet, this player in question on TikTok that I saw on Reddit recently, he was cheating for over 6 hours live on his TikTok and never got banned. So it just goes to show how we get. I've seen devs in Reddit every now and then. I've seen devs online talk about it. Obviously they're active on YouTube. Obviously they're active on TikTok because they make videos all the time. And yet the media team doesn't report on this. You're kidding me, right? Like that should be like, hey, we see this 101. Hey, we're reporting it 101. Somebody should realize it, what's going on. And hey, we should find out who this player is. And granted, what's crazy is the community found out his name, and he's still not banned. His account's still alive, like as of right now. And he's still not gone. And he played for solid 6 hours on TikTok. So that's the general issue I have with how Gaijin has been dealing with their cheating issue, which is clearly very lackluster, even though they're banning 8,000 players. I really would love them to ban a lot more, but it's clearly Gaijin is, like, if you've noticed, we've been trending upwards in cheaters, and yet we're still not, you know, it's probably I'm going to guess, I think I bet with a friend on this time around, I think I bet 6K, because last 2 months ago was like 4K, 4.5K, I think was. And so it's basically doubled again, because then the month before that was like 2K as well. So it's doubling like every month and a half now. So who knows? Next month might be 10,000 players, which when you think about that in the long term, now granted that's not like math-wise for the actual game itself, but if the average player base is 100K players per day, 100K on an average time when I'm on, normally it's like in the evening times, I see about 100 to 150,000 players. If you're doing that math-wise, if it's 10K players, not granted, like I said, not every one of those cheaters is playing at that time, but in a general day, that's 5 to 10% of the player base that were just banned for cheating, at least if they were all playing at the same time, math-wise. But in a general overall sense of people that play on a monthly basis, probably, that's about like 1 or 2%. So it's still a significant chunk of players, and I get, every big game company has issues with cheaters, but the fact that we're seeing advertisements everywhere, seeing that their code has been cracked for years, the fact that they are just kind of not putting more effort into their security is just, it should be an eye-opener, but it feels like it's not. It feels like there's being too much time spent on crap that doesn't really matter, or like this test that they should just test APHE in and just stop dealing with this whole voting shit that they're dealing with. So I'd rather them just deal with it now and not make it crazy and just make the security a little bit better, or just monitor it better, or set it up better, or do whatever, and they're just not doing that. So I'm hoping it gets better, and we'll go from there. So as always, I hope you, if you have a player in question, please leave the player, the ID, and the last digits after the replay in the URL in the comments and a description of what you saw in the replay. And as always, I hope you have a good rest of your morning, day, evening, or night, and have a good one.